It's time for a new evolution in raising golfers, one that doesn't involve headaches, tears, or heading down the path of unknown. Whether you're trying to introduce children to the game of golf, help them play competitively, or play at a collegiate level, you're in the right place. This show is for any parent, player, or coach who wants to build a better team at home and on the golf course. This is the Raising Golfers Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Raising Golfers Podcast. I am your host, Travis Hauser, PGA professional here in Carlsbad, California. Today's topic is a perception bias, and my question for you is what you see, how your child sees it. This is something I've been thinking about with my own children, and also just with coaching. And then another one would be, is that are the problems that are surrounded by your child's performance and environment also perceived the same way from your child's perception? So I'm going to look a little bit deeper into this and talk to you about a couple of interesting examples of things and just kind of see how children perceive situations and how they can possibly be different than what we see as adults. And I think as adults, we try to do our best to make sure we do protect our children in certain situations and scenarios. However, there are times that we need to intervene, and there's times I think we need to step back and just let it play out. So an interesting situation that happened, this is just a personal one. My son came home from school last week. He had a bunch of sand in his hair. My wife asked him, where did all the sand come from? And he mentioned that one of his friends poured sand on his head, which obviously seems like a vicious act, doesn't it? And, asking some more questions, it sounds like they were both playing and having a good time. And instinctively, we're thinking, well, geez, this other boy who put sand in our son's hair, like that's not okay, which is true. And, maybe we should make sure that our child understands how to defend himself. At the same time, also think, well, maybe should our child be hanging out with that boy or not if this continues on? Interestingly enough, the more questions we started to ask our son, he started to describe how much fun he has with this boy and that he's one of his favorite friends at school. And I think we just have to be very, very careful about how we react to that situation. And I think asking more questions was very crucial. And so we talked to our son about, making sure that he lets other people know that he doesn't like that. But we have to make sure too that we don't step in and completely take him out of the situation away from his close friend. And now let's hear a message from our show sponsor. Hey guys. This last spring, I teamed up with Operation 36 here at our facility in Carlsbad, California, and it has completely changed my way of coaching and service to my customers. Operation 36 is a developmental golf program designed to take beginners from playing their first round to being able to shoot par or better for 9 holes. So here's how it works. Participants attend weekly 1-hour classes and work through a 6-level curriculum. They then play in 9-hole events once or twice a month with a common goal to shoot 36 or better from different distances. And using the Operation 36 app, coaches can plan programs, communicate with families, and track students' progress. It's really, really cool. If you're a parent listening, search for a program near you on their website at operation36.golf/juniors. And coaches, if you'd like to start a program at your facility, go to the same website, operation36.golf/coaches. Then that kind of leads into what I was thinking about with junior golf. So, for example, we had a PGA Junior League match. This is going back to our first one a couple weeks back. And some of the feedback from the parents, it was amazing, but some of the feedback from the parents was like, the pace of play seemed really slow. Sometimes they were making poor decisions as a team. And, some of the words that were exchanged between each other, they were all kind, but they just weren't sure if the advice given was correct. And one dad said, I wonder if my son sees it the same way that I see it as looking from the outside. And I said, well, it'll be interesting to find out. And sure enough, the feedback from the kid was, oh man, that was awesome. That was so much fun. It was great. Everything about it was awesome. I can't wait for the next match, period. Nothing about how they felt it was really slow. Nothing about how it felt like they were making poor decisions. It was only positive, right? And again, like what we see from the outside can be completely different than what the junior golfer feels and sees, right? Here's another one would be, a student of ours, he seems really focused in tournaments, and he goes out, he plays in a bunch of different types of tournaments all over San Diego County. And his dad's perception, what he said was that my son just looks sometimes like he may not be having fun out there because he's so focused or upset after a bad shot, which I think is very normal. But then after asking his son, what kinds of things he likes doing in junior golf, one of the top things he said he has the most fun in, ironically, is doing tournaments. And so, and again, I think that just shows how important it is that sometimes our perception of what we see as an outsider, as an adult looking into the junior golfers, can be completely different, right? And the junior golfer here who is focused, who of course has the ups and downs, both mentally and emotionally in a tournament, still feels that's one of the most fun things that they can do in junior golf. So I think just asking questions and making sure that we fully understand the perception of how the children see it, I think it'll help us adults know when to step in and when not, and just to let things be. Hope you enjoyed today's episode and gives you a better idea of how to look at things from more than one perspective, ask more questions, and be the best team that you can be. Thanks so much, and look forward to having you here back on the podcast next week.